Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Got a news brief for you because there's several things that's happening in the news and some breaking news that you should probably know about because it just may be important. And we're going to get to that here in just a moment, so stick with us. Wanted to let you know, if you're looking for food that is something that you can put on the shelf and not really have to worry about it, that emergency food, the kind that you buy in Mylar and buckets, you can go to preparewithtravis.com and find some great deals on that. It's a way to get good quality, very low priced compared to other companies that make this stuff, American-made product in your home that you can have as a little bit more assurance to all your other preps. It's not the only thing you need to be buying for certain. But it does have a place in your preps, and it's a good way to amend your preparations by having this emergency food that lasts 25 plus years, and it's also a way to help out the channel. So if you go to preparewithtravis.com, you can find more about that. On to the news, though. It's hot, and it's gonna get hotter this week. There are places here in the United States that they're saying it could be 115 to 118 degrees or more. And it's not just the United States, it's really most of the northern hemisphere is dealing with just some insane amount of heat and record heat. So, you know, just as a public service announcement, you need to be taking it pretty easy this week. Be careful out there, especially if you're not used to being outside a lot. You know, if you've adjusted to the heat because you work outside every day, you still need to take some precautions and be a little cautious, but you're probably going to do better than a lot of other people. But if you're not used to it or you have some health problems, you know, don't be silly. Just take it easy. And for those of you that live in Texas, if you remember getting or being offered those free smart thermostats, well, guess what? Yes, Texas utility companies can control your thermostat with those smart thermostats, and they have already been doing that, depending on the plan that you have and all that kind of stuff. But they can control them. Biden has taken advantage of all this hot weather because it's in everybody's mind, because he's apparently going to be issuing an executive order on climate. It's unsure if he will go as far to declaring a state of emergency because of climate conditions, but it does appear that he's going to be issuing this executive order. Some international things that I personally think this is kind of important. Russia, Iran, and Turkey have met together today, and there's a little video here of the three leaders meeting together, shaking hands, all that kind of stuff. This is, there's a lot of stuff going on here. In Turkey, they've been the one that's kind of been wavering on whether to allow Sweden and Finland into NATO. And they finally relinquished and said, yeah, okay, they'll do it. Well, then yesterday, they said that, you know what, we might not, but we're still capable of pulling our vote for Sweden and Finland to be part of NATO. And then all of a sudden, Putin shows up with Iran and having this meeting. And this is, I think personally, a big knock against not just Biden's authority and his influence, but also the West. We're seeing the West crumble. We're watching it crumble. That's what the Great Reset's all about, because they see it too. These world leaders, they realize that this society, that they have built up over the last few centuries is starting to crumble. It's starting to fall. And so they're wanting to put something in its place. And that's why we're seeing everything crumble. I think Russia and China and Iran and people like that, they're wanting to become the new world leader because of that. They see it also happening. And we're seeing that play out with a lot of things that we've been talking about. You know, Saudi Arabia, the oil there, China and oil, Russia and oil, India, Iran, Turkey. We're seeing America pretty quickly, I think, lose its prominence as the world leader, as the world leader that the whole world looks to. And when America speaks, everyone kind of takes notice. We're losing that position. And I don't think that Americans are quite understanding of what that's going to do for us. Even if you took away all the inflation and the supply chains and all this other stuff, if none of that was ever going on, just the fact that America is very rapidly losing its place of prominence as the world leader, it's going to shake things up quite a bit, and we're going to feel it here in America. We most definitely are going to feel that. Food banks all over the country, everywhere from Texas all the way up to North Dakota, are saying that they can't get enough food. They're struggling to get food, and they're struggling to just make it by. And there's a lot of people, we've been talking about how this food shortage and the food crisis that we're seeing, it may not affect the upper middle class, upper class as much. They'll be financially secure. But for the lower levels of people on the economic pyramid, they're going to feel this. And for those people that are going to food banks because they can't get enough food on a regular basis, they're going to start hurting too, because there's just not enough food in these food banks. The main thing that I wanted to talk about, and this is something that just, it always amazes me, and there's a few YouTubers that I communicate somewhat regularly with. And it's funny that there are times, and I'm sure a lot of people think we're either copying off of each other or we're working together, but it's amazing how there are times when, myself say we'll release a video, and one or two or maybe several other YouTubers release videos that are very similar to that. It's interesting how kind of our minds are all, connected in some way, or maybe it's just a coincidence. Well, it's kind of happened. This morning I released a video, out walking in the woods, and I guess and I have watched it, so another YouTuber, Alaska Prepper, he released a video last night that kind of hit on some of the same subjects. And the point is that I believe he kind of talked about it. I've seen other people saying the same thing. I think that what we're seeing with the stuff that's happening in recent days and in recent weeks is we're starting to see a shift in this Great Reset, Agenda 2030, global takeover, that it's probably moving into a new phase. And I don't think that's a good thing. I want to point out here that in the last 30 days, I have, just through my own research, found 6 prime ministers of 6 different nations that have resigned. It's like the resignation apocalypse or something going on. They've all resigned. Entire governments within some of those countries are resigning. One was pretty much overthrown in Sri Lanka. We're seeing kind of what appears to be breaking down. But remember that it's not falling apart, it's falling into place, okay? I believe firmly that this is all part of their plan. And they need to move certain people out and new people in, people that will push the agenda even harder, whatever it is. And I don't think that we're necessarily seeing their plan fall apart. It's fallen into place is what it is. And so, folks, this is one more of many, many reasons why you should be prepared. It was just a few weeks ago that the United Nations announced a partnership between the United Nations and the World Economic Forum.
This afternoon, the Secretary General and Klaus Schwab, the founder of the World Economic Forum, will witness the signing of a memorandum of understanding on a strategic partnership between the UN and the World Economic Forum, which outlines areas of cooperation to deepen engagement between the two institutions and to jointly accelerate the implementation of the 2030 agenda.
The Secretary General of the United Nations and Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum signed an agreement to push Agenda 2030, the Great Reset, faster, harder, to advance it even more. And their goal was by the year 2030, and now they're saying they want it to happen, or at least most of it to happen, by the year 2025. Well, that's only 3 years from now, folks, less than 2.5 years. So that's why we're seeing things happen. That's why you need to get prepared. That's not why you need to get all aspects of your life ready, because we are witnessing the most radical change probably in human history, at least in recorded history. And you and I are part of it, and we can survive it, we can make it through it, but we have to be smart about it. We have to work hard at it, and building our resiliency, and working together in a community. And then most of all, getting down on your knees in prayer, because above all the worldliness and of all the tragedy and the things that are going on, The most important thing is that we are witnessing spiritual warfare happen right before our eyes. So folks, continue to get your houses in order, continue to prepare, and you know, do everything that you can to get yourself and your family ready for the things that are happening. They're not really, it's not that they're gonna happen. I mean, there's certainly things that are gonna happen down the road, but it's happening as we speak. So get your houses in order. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.